What's up everybody and welcome to Sunnyside TV, and today we're taking a close look at Trine 4, The Nightmare Prince, and this is the fourth game in the series, but does it continue to provide high quality in gameplay and visuals, or is Trine 4 a huge dud? Let's find out in this review.
You must find the missing Prince Celius, a ward of the
Now before I get started, if you guys end up liking this video, please consider hitting that like button as it's super helpful, and consider subbing to the channel for more game reviews and gameplay videos. But Trine 4 today is a great entry point if you're completely new to the series, as the story is 100% separate from the others. And we start off with the story being here that the prince has disappeared and his untrained magic is causing nightmares to manifest in the world, and you, the heroes, are sent on a quest to bring him back. The story here for the most part is pretty weak. You're just chasing down this annoying prince, and it follows more like a story that is just there to explain the crazy backgrounds and layouts of the levels. Now, if you're not familiar with the Trine series, and even I'll admit I've only slightly dabbled in Trine 2, the game is a 2D mixed with some 3D visuals, and it's just a visually stunning game. It's a puzzle platformer with 3 heroes, with each of them bringing their own abilities to help solve puzzles. Now, the game is first and foremost a puzzle game, but it does have some light mixed combat thrown in the mix to change it up. Now, I'm going to be bringing this review from the perspective of someone for the most part who is new to the series, seeing as how I really didn't get to play it much in the past, but I will say that I was definitely surprised. Now, puzzles are my worst enemy in any game, and you probably know that if you followed this channel at all. I suck at puzzles, and this being first and foremost a puzzle game, you would think that I didn't take to it, but this is the beauty with the Trine series. When you complete a puzzle, especially in Trine 4, you get a sense of wanting to like high-five yourself. Now, we have 3 heroes who can help tackle these puzzles in different ways, and to start we have the knight Pontius, who uses his shield to reflect enemy attacks and reflect light to help combat the dark evil, and he's also the main combat character as he has his sword. Then we have Amadeus, the wizard, who can conjure up a box that helps with a vast amount of the puzzles, but he can also blink and reach platforms further away. And last but not least, my favorite character, Zoya, who can propel herself with a hook shot and can hit enemies or objects with her bow. Now, all these characters you can change on the fly, and it will be needed to change them on the fly to tackle specific puzzles that can gate you from moving forward. Now, controls are fluid and tight, and in this one they have to be, as you have to be precise at times to reach certain hard to get areas or move objects into a certain place to stack them. Puzzles are very varied, and I couldn't even try to explain every type of puzzle, but puzzles can definitely range from just stacking boxes to get to certain areas, or using everyone's ability in one area to handle a single puzzle. For example, you might need the wizard to conjure up a box and move it to a certain spot. Then you'll need Zoya to use an ice arrow to freeze that platform in place, and to top it off, with Pontius needing to hop on that platform to use his shield to reflect the water. That's the basic synergies you'll run into Trine 4, and working with all 3 classes together in harmony is vital to figuring out a lot of these puzzles. And the neat part is the puzzles get more difficult the further you get into the game. Now, there is some bosses to know in Trine 4. The first few bosses are combat related, and combat is something you're going to be doing here from time to time, but all 3 characters are effective at it. The wizard can drop boxes on people's heads, Pontius swings with his sword, and Zoya hits with her bow, but not all bosses are combat related. Example here is this boss at this point of the game ended up giving me some of the toughest puzzles in the game to solve in order to advance the story. The bosses in general are a lot of fun in the game, and visually they're great, and they feel pretty epic in their design. As for some downsides though, the game's pacing definitely feels a little bit off. The game flows well and gives you easy to handle puzzles for a while at the start, then a few hours in, to say that the difficulty in solving puzzles ramps up tenfold would be an understatement. The story itself is pretty bland, and chasing after this whiny prince gets a little bit old and just feels like the story is just tacked on to move the game from level to level to explain why you're facing certain backgrounds. The gaps in the levels from the puzzles to the combat to the boss is also pretty off and not spaced in a fun way. You can be doing puzzles for a straight 40 minutes, then have combat out of completely nowhere, then puzzles again for another 30 minutes, then maybe you'll get a boss. But overall, Trine 4 is one of the most visually pleasing games I've seen all year, and while it did have some pacing issues, the gameplay and puzzle format is really a lot of fun, and this is from a guy who hates puzzles. The controls are 100% well done, the game runs really well on the Nintendo Switch where I reviewed it, music is also well placed, and in most levels this was really pleasant to listen to. The game can also be played in local co-op, just adding to the value of an already fun experience. My final score for Trine 4 is a 7.75 out of 10. I think this is an excellent game and a great addition to the series, and it's wonderful for those who are completely new to the Trine series, but don't be scared to start it up here, as I think you're going to have a lot of fun. But alright guys, if you guys end up enjoying this video, please consider hitting that like button, sub to the channel for more game reviews, and hit that notification bell. And as always, thank you for watching. I'm Sunny, and I hope you all have a sunny day.